G'day everyone, welcome back. This is episode 11 in my preview series of 1904 Imperial Sunrise, the new campaign coming with patch 1.08 for Strategic Command American Civil War. I'm commanding the Russians and Old Crow Balthazor is commanding the Japanese. This will be July 26, 1904. Last turn he took Liaoyang. I'm not happy about that. He cut off Port Arthur. Not happy about that either. I sank a battleship. I'm very happy about that one. And he continues to strike at the Pacific Fleet. Incurring lots of damage as he does so. Oh, what are you doing there? You're not meant to sink my battleships. That's my thing. They've been stuck for a long time, so nothing too surprising about that. Ooh. Destroyed a couple of naval mines. Maybe I can do something with that. Actually, that torpedo boat's damaged, so I won't be able to lay any. That's a shame. Ooh, that probably wasn't his best ever move then. 2 points of damage on a division for 1 on a brigade is not at all a favourable trade. Alright. That hurt. But we have reinforcements now. I'm going to put you here before I forget to. Alright. So if I put things there, then they get prepared attack. Could dart down and capture that. That would probably cost me the Cossacks though. Nice. Well, maybe I can get him. Yes! There we go. Without too many losses too. Well, every point of damage we inflict on Japan is one they can't easily replace. Not gonna do anything with that torpedo boat. It's a lost cause at this point. I'm not gonna waste my points repairing it. What I am gonna do is Operation Trap the Cruiser. It'll appear in a couple of turns. All I need to do is get him to run into it, into one of these cruisers. They should be far enough away that if he gets ambushed, that he can't then escape into port. Although he could go in there, I guess. Do I do it out here? Maybe I'll do it out there, actually. As long as I can trap him far enough away from port, I should be able to get the cruiser. The only prize bigger than that would be the second siege artillery, which I can be fairly confident he'll deploy around here, because that's the closest port to Korea. Don't remember which turn that spawns in. I also imagine he's going to be patrolling to stop me from getting it. Whereas the cruiser, I can be fairly confident that he won't be as careful about, because obviously it's a cruiser, it's not a transport. When you're thinking about what units need protection, transport's fairly obvious. I don't think a cruiser is. So he might be tricked by that. Now, I want the Eastern Detachment back, and I want the rest of my army repaired. You definitely, you definitely, you definitely, you if we can, yes we can. That worked out pretty well. Now it's worth noting that these towns do have some considerable fighting spirit value, particularly Liao Yang, that's 25 a turn. It adds up very, very quickly, so we can't let him occupy too much of Manchuria for too long. A little bit's alright. Russia's got firmer fighting spirit than Japan, or at least they did before I lost my fleet. And we have more capacity in the long run to inflict losses on him. Korea's not really worth anything for fighting spirit, except if we're able to capture some of these. Those will really tank Japan very quickly. Because obviously they thought Korea was theirs, even going back to the war against China in the 1890s. So, if we're able to capture Hamhung Pyongyang, the Emperor is going to be humiliated. And, well, hello. I did nothing to use this last turn. Yes, this fortress can do a lot of damage to infantry that are trying to attack Port Arthur. I ought to reinforce that thing, actually. That's got experience on it. Get up to 6, and then we shell the Japanese army as they try and take Port Arthur. They'll inflict a lot of losses. We only have a few brigades out here, but they can hold out for quite a long time, particularly if the Japanese don't concentrate all their artillery. Usually when I play Japan, I have both artillery, like siege artillery pieces, plus the field artillery to really grind down Port Arthur, and even then it does take quite a while to get it. So, as long as we don't lose Mukden, and it's looking increasingly like we won't, then eventually I'll be able to push him back. As long as Port Arthur holds, we still win the game in the end, provided our fighting spirit doesn't collapse. Without losing Mukden, Port Arthur, it probably won't. Suppose it can if he really busts my army up, but so far we've been knocking out a division each turn. Japan cannot sustain those losses for terribly long, particularly if he wasted all his points at the start, getting his battleships overstrengthed. That'll mean Tsushima's costly when it comes time for that, but Tsushima won't matter at all if we're back in Korea by the time the Baltic Fleet shows up. So, lots to think about. Just gonna make sure I haven't missed anyone anywhere. Doesn't look like it. What I'd like to do next turn, perhaps, is get these cruisers to be there, and there, just a wall of them. The cruiser will run into them. Because obviously, he might patrol the area outside Tokyo, because of course, if I'm going to trap it, that's where you're going to do it, right? So he might be a bit less careful, you know, 10, 11 hexes away from Tokyo, where... Why would Byte set up an ambush there? Well, that's exactly why Byte would set up an ambush. I like trapping units. Always good when that happens. Well, as long as they're the enemy units, I'm sure OCB's got his own traps planned. But he's also running out of units. How many's he got? 17, 15. That's not much of an advantage. Particularly as Russia has a number of these brigades to buff it up their count at the start. And, what's he got? He'll have 4 HQs on the field by now. 1 cavalry. What he had? 17, so that's... Oh, and 1 of the artilleries is there as well, so he's got at most 10. I don't think he's going to be able to sustain the war effort too long. Of course, the Tsar during this time thought that the Japanese were a bit of a joke. Paid for it. Maybe he won't find the torpedo boat there. Or do I do something audacious and just burst out and try and catch a artillery piece? Though he might know if I'm not in Port Arthur that's where I've gone, and then he'll be on to the cruisers. I'll leave it here for this turn. I'll see what he does. I don't expect that thing's going to last too much longer anyway. I hope he notices that his cavalry's here, and that prompts him to put a garrison there, because that means less units in front of Mukden. That would be nice, just upset his momentum. I don't think he would go and concentrate his attack on the cavalry. There's not a lot of benefit to doing so. There's some, of course, that drop my spotting capabilities, but as I said last turn, I'm not really in a position to really take the offensive yet. I haven't worn him down enough. Soon, hopefully once he starts bleeding against Port Arthur, that'd be the time to really take the offensive, but I'll have to watch. I'd like to get my 2nd Cossack back. They're still in the build queue. I might get them before the winter, but that's pretty unlikely. Right, that's turn 11. The rain's gone. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.